Hello friends! In this video, I want to show you how I use my forScore app. I watched quite a few videos of how to use the app. Some of them are very complicated and some of them are too casual or too short. It didn't match my experience. It didn't match what I actually wanted from the app. In this video, you'll simply learn the basics. What exactly do you need to know about this app, how to use it, and that's it. I'm not gonna teach you how to do it in a very fancy way. It's just gonna be very short, very clear. How can you use forScore and how can you make it work so when you go to your next performance or your next wedding gig or any event that you're playing at, that you know what to use, how to use it, in general, like what to do and how to be there all ready to play the music. Before we even start, I want to talk a little bit about the equipment that I use beside my violin. Number one, I have an iPad, which I got probably 3-4 years ago. And what I love about this iPad is actually the size of the page, the size of a paper. When you open your forScore app, you just have the page open right in front of you. I'm sorry for the construction, it's never gonna stop. I strongly recommend an iPad because that way you always have access to your new music and to your old music, but you also don't have to print a lot of paper. Attached to this iPad, I have an Apple Pencil. Honestly, it's so nice to be able to make notes in the iPad because while you make notes and you write down those and you make all these markings, it's very hard to zoom in with your fingers and then zoom out to be able to make the markings. So if you can do it with your pencil, it's great. Moving on, I have this pedal that I use for turning pages, and I bought it also 2 years ago. At the time, I read a few reviews and I thought that this one is the best product. I would say that the best product is this different pedal that I'm currently hoping to purchase anytime soon. The problem with the pedal that I have right now, it doesn't have like an extra thing that you click it against. It only works nicely on a very hard surface. So on stage, it might work very nicely, but if the stage is even a little bit softer, like for dancers, sometimes it doesn't turn on time. Same with laying outside. If you place this on the grass, it's also not gonna work nicely. Or being at home and putting it down and trying to play it while you're standing on the carpet, it also doesn't turn. So usually when I go and I perform concerts, stakes are very high. I ask my STEM partners to use their pedals, and I use this one only for gigs because the stakes are very low and then I can just turn pages with my fingers if it's necessary. I would recommend that you definitely invest into a pedal. Just make sure that you make a little research, and like I said, I'm going to buy this pedal, but I don't know yet how it works. I only know that a lot of my friends have it and they really enjoy it. Last thing, I will have to open it very quickly. I bought myself a music stand for my iPad because, first of all, I think it's very convenient to have a music stand that's not very heavy. But one time I was playing a concert, and it was again a concert with a symphony orchestra, and we got this music stand that kept sliding down. So imagine 1 hour and a half of your music stand just like sliding down over and over and over again. I was the inside player, so I had to do this motion, like play all the time to only see the music stand slowly going down, and there was nothing we could do about it because there was no intermission. Anyway, after that, I told myself there's no way in this life that I'm showing up to a concert and I'm not playing from my music stand unless I'm seated. If it's standing situation, I will not trust any music stands. As you can see, this can actually go really tall, and I use it as a tripod for my videos, but this is how tall it goes, and I'm 5'4", but I usually put it at this height because I want to still be able to see the conductor. Let me show you how it looks like when I put my iPad here. It's incredibly sturdy and it looks nice. There's no visual clutter because of it. You can also turn it this way in case you want to have 2 pages at the same time. And then if you also have camera and you love recording yourself, and I hope you record yourself if you're a musician, but it's very nice. You can always just turn this, take this off, and then put the camera on top. So then you can have a lot of wonderful angles because it goes so high and it's very sturdy for your camera. It's just a great investment, so I recommend it. Now let's move to forScore. The first thing that you do when you get the forScore in your iPad, I recommend going to the settings. So you have it on the top right, like a little suitcase. So you go there to your tools and then you access settings all the way down. And then you make sure that your auto lock is off. That way when you perform, your iPad is not gonna turn off. So that's the first lesson that I had to learn, is that the forScore is not gonna just stay open. You have to do the settings for it to stay open. I was doing a recording session for my school, and that's when I decided to first take my iPad without knowing about this setting. So my iPad died halfway through while I wasn't having any rest. And honestly, I looked at the recording after and you can't tell that happened to me because I was pretending to play the violin. I had like an air bow. Another thing that I did is when you go to the settings of your iPad in general and just making sure that your iPad doesn't turn off unless you have to lock it yourself. Next thing about the forScore app, usually what will happen, you will get your music as PDF files. You'll either have to scan the music yourself, or you will get this music through an email or through a flash drive, or somebody's gonna airdrop it to you. I'm going to airdrop a random thing from my computer. So when that happens, make sure that your airdrop is turned on. Then you'll go and click for everyone for 10 minutes. What will that do is that if someone who's sending you files in the moment will be able to find you, right when it's sent to you, you will have all these amazing options that will pop. It will ask you where do you want to open these files. Make sure that you click forScore. Once you click this, you have the file. I recently wrote a little song for my viola students, so that's why I sent this. Once you have it in your file, make sure that you click title. Like you can literally click on the stuff autoclave music paper. So you click on it and then you go and you write down. So for me, is music for student is the title of my piece. Well, obviously I misspelled it, but you got the point. Then composer is gonna be me. Then you can also do all of these things that I never do. I don't care about them. I think they're beautiful, and someday when I'll get very nerdy about this app, I will do it, but I don't do it because it doesn't have any value for me at the moment. And then when you click on the little note on the left side of the iPad, you will see that that thing will be all the way at the top of all scores. If you have a lot of things in your iPad and then you want to find those things, for example, when I'm at the wedding, I have to find canon. So these are all the canons that I have, and then I can pick from them. Click on this and then I have the music right out. Another way for you to have this music is that you scan it. You can scan it by going again to the toolbox, add scores, you click scan. You're just going to scan your music here and then save it, and it's gonna be saved into your forScore. I usually scan music in my phone app just because usually I have more access to my phone, especially when I'm at the library or if I'm in a teacher's studio. I don't just carry my iPad with me all the time. That way I can scan things in my phone and then again do the airdrop thing. Another thing that I find very important is creating set lists. You're going to go to the 3 lines that we have here, and then you can see my set list from our time, but you can click on plus and then name of the new set list. I can say wedding. These little 3 lines is basically asking me, do I want to see this set list on top or on the bottom? And I'm gonna make sure it's on top and then create. Let's add to this set list some wedding ceremony songs. I go here, then I move all of these songs down. Once that happens, I write down the name of the songs. Canon. And let's do this one. Then we are going to have... Man, how do you spell incline? I always mess it up. Oh, so okay, we have these 2 songs. I think that will be enough. And now I will click X to leave from here. Then you can put it on top. Then if you have even more pieces, you can arrange them. The set list is mainly there so that when you play Einklein and you play the whole thing of Einklein, this is the end of Einklein, and then when I click again, it just moves me to the next song. So that way you don't have to ever search for this music again. It's just there and it goes on and on, one after another. Another setting that I really like, let's just assume something's written in music. For example, we have to play this and then we have to move on to the second second page and we'll move on to the second page, we have to play the first one again. So instead of pressing the pedal on the left side, you can click the toolbar and then click on rearrange, and then all of the pages are in front of you. So you can double the first page and then make sure that the page goes here, and then we double again the second page. So then we have 1 2 1 2, and then we click. We are not gonna click safe, I don't want to mess up with my music. But then what happens in the end is that you can click again and again and again. So if you have repeats, you just keep going to the right, because I don't know if you know, in performances, if you use the pedal, maybe you feel this way too, it's very hard to start pressing and going back. Sometimes you can hear like hitting the ground like because you want to get to the front so quickly to do repeat. So this way you don't have to do that. Discard changes because I don't want to have this way. That's basically the two main things that you need to know: how to put music into the iPad, and then how to play the music from your iPad in a row without anyone waiting for you. And that's it. You don't need any of the other things. If you want to get all fancy and use the iPad in your practicing, there are a lot of tools as well. For example, one tool that's really cool is that you have metronome. If you want to use the metronome while you practice, you can click on audible, visible, and then you also can click on both. And then what's cool about the metronome, it stays this way. So if you go to a different piece, like a different PDF file, it will show it. Then you also can have pitch here to here and a certain note, and you also have a tuner. If you printed out something and you kind of messed up on the way, you can always click on the page, then go to crop, and then you can adjust it within the page. So look, it did it already automatically for me. It zoomed it in. This is how you can make it look. And then we click crop, and now my page is suddenly not that small format, it's much bigger. We have all these tools on top. You can access them on the top right, or you can access them just by putting your pencil on screen. You have all sorts of lines that you can choose from. What I really love about this is that you can also play with the color and the intensity. So you can change the side, like you can make it brighter, you can highlight. In the end, I only need black color and blue just to simply like circle things, write things that I need to write, and that's it. I like my music to be not the most clean in a way. That's why when people tell me to use stamps that we have here on the top left, if you click, you can see all the stamps that you can have. So you can take like double flat, then hold your finger and then put it in front of the note, and you can also go here and change the color for it. So again, double flat F. And since this is a little big, I would go and move it to 20, and then size 20 will be better for my notes. Because of how tidy the stems are, I just don't find that useful, because when I mark something, that means that it needs to stand out to me. It needs to catch my attention. So if it's all like completely tidy and organized, that will not do it for me. Other stems that people might like, it's this. I love the white one because then you can just take it and then you can just erase the whole line instead of going with the eraser like this. When you go to your toolbox, you can also find templates, and I love templates because that way you don't have to find templates online, you just find them here, and then it's saved as a new page here at the top, and you can write down lots of beautiful things. In the past, I used to print out free stuff, and you don't have to. It's right here in the iPad. There's also a piano available if you want to use that. But you know what? I made this video to be very short. I don't use piano. I'm not gonna tell you how to use something I don't use. There are many wonderful ways to use this app. For example, in the future, what I really want to do for all my excerpts, have different orchestra attached to recordings of the certain excerpts. So then I can play along with different orchestras when I play that excerpt. It has that ability. It has that amazing thing. You can also record your playing while you're playing, and it's gonna be saved in the app, so you can save your progress, and you can also send that progress to your teacher. There are a lot of amazing things in this app, but in the end, I'm a very simple person. I like to have the basic needs met. For now, that's all that I have for today, and thank you for hanging out with me for this short period of time. Before we say goodbye though, I want to hear from you when it comes to forScore. What are the things that you like about the app? What are things that you don't like about the app? What are the tools that you use in the app? and how to integrate this on your weekly practice, monthly practice, daily practice. Let me know. Also, if this video actually helped you or made it more clear for you how things go, let me know. That will make me very happy because I don't want to create something that's not useful. Bye, and I will see you in my next video.